Soil is highly structured, healthy soil. It has fungi in it called mycorrhiza. This mycorrhiza grows long, hundreds of meters long hyphae, and the end of each hyphae attaches itself to the end of the hair roots of every plant in the area, of trees and grasses and bushes, bringing nutrients and bringing water from a much larger area, taking away toxins. Every plant on the planet, the whole planet is covered in a blanket of mycorrhizal blanket. And this mycorrhiza is also the original World Wide Web. It transfers information from tree to tree, from plant to plant. You know, a tree in Britain might be talking to a tree in Australia through this mycorrhizal blanket. They exchange information. It's amazing. The research is quite limited in that area, but we do get, there's more and more research coming in. And then along that mycorrhizal network, bacteria, viruses, archaea, and other creatures create their little villages and towns. So it's like a complex city with streets, roads, lanes, gas supply, electricity supply, sewage, water supply. If you stick a spade into that, or you plow it, you lift a piece of soil and you break it, you've destroyed the whole city. You've damaged the microbial community. And that's what arable agriculture does. They keep plowing, they keep tilling, and then they spray it with chemicals. Vast majority of arable lands all over the Western world, and not only the Western world now, because the Western arable agriculture methods are being spread all over the world now. They've been adopted in the third world countries and everywhere else. The soils are dead. And once the soil loses its structure and loses its microbial community, it turns into dead dust, dead dirt. Rains wash that soil off the fields into streams and rivers. That is why in the Western world, when it rains and you look at the river runs brown. Natural proper river in a rainy day is supposed to run clear, crystal clear. They run brown. Why is it brown? This is the soil being washed off the fields into the river. And then the river delivers that soil into the sea and dumps it in the sea. That's how humanity has already stripped majority of soils, topsoil, off the surface of the planet, of the dry lands of the planet.
As you describe that, it sounds like what you described earlier with the human gut. Our gut sounds like a microcosm for what you just explained.
Exactly the same thing is happening in the human gut. We are turning every desert on our planet is created by arable agriculture. Sahara Desert in Africa was created by Romans growing wheat for their slaves. The patricians in Rome ate meat and veg themselves. They didn't eat bread. But bread in circuses was for the slaves. To feed their slaves, they needed wheat. That is why they've colonized the whole of North Africa, plowed it, and grew wheat for hundreds of years until they've stripped all the soil, and the whole of North Africa turned into a Sahara Desert. Gobi Desert, the desert of Australia, all deserts of the world have been created by arable agriculture. Middle East, the whole Middle East. You know, there are stories of humanity originating in Mesopotamia between Tigris and Euphrates, between the two rivers, which was a highly fertile, beautiful, lush land. And that is the modern Iraq. Modern Iraq is a desert. Because people grew wheat and barley in Mesopotamia, they've stripped all the soils, they've destroyed the soils, and turned that lush land into a desert. Now large parts of USA is turning into deserts because of arable agriculture, because of what these industrial arable machines are doing. Why is humanity turning the whole planet into deserts? Because humanity is a drug addict, to feed its addiction. The politicians and the governments are telling us, we must feed the world. And for that, there's no choice but to grow wheat or rice or maize. I've already explained that wheat, rice, maize, potatoes, sugar do not feed the human body. They poison it and they cause every chronic disease. They're indigestible. They cannot feed your body. So this political lie must stop. All this arable, growing all these grains and all these potatoes and sugarcane and sugar beet is not feeding the world. It's poisoning the world and maintaining a drug addiction. That is all it's doing. If we want to feed poor populations in the world, we need to turn 90%, 99% of all arable fields on our planet to pasture, put large herds of animals on them, cows, sheep, goats, pigs, deer, chickens, turkeys, and start feeding those populations with food that truly feed and build the human body. And that is meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. That is the real solution. And if we do that, the regenerative agriculture that I practice on my farm has all the ways. It's figured it all out already. It's researched the whole thing. We know how to reverse the damage on the planet. We know how to create soil quite rapidly, quite quickly. We know how to recreate. We know how to green all the deserts. We can reverse Sahara. We can turn Sahara Desert back into beautiful, lush grasslands and forests. Every desert can be turned. We know how to do that. We already worked it out. Books are written about this. Guidance is written about this. It's all over internet. There are wonderful projects all over the world. How to reverse deserts, how to green pastures, how to recreate soil. We can do that. But the problem is political. The problem is not in the knowledge. So if we've done that, if the whole humanity got a will to stop the arable agriculture, stop the drug addiction, and convert arable lands back to pasture and start producing animal foods, nobody will be starving. People will be truly fed by foods that will truly feed them and build their bodies and make them healthy and happy.
And the good news is, again, microcosm, we can do the same thing with our guts.
Exactly. In many people that I've seen, and in many people in the West, their gut is a desert. It's a Sahara desert. Because what is your microbiome on the surface of your gut lining? Every microbe produces sticky substances to make a little home for itself. Every creature in this world tries to make a little home, a little shelter for itself. Nobody wants to live in the open. And the microbes are the same. So all these sticky substances get mixed up together and they form a so-called biofilm. What is soil? Soil is a biofilm. And if we take a microscopic picture of the gut lining of a human being, healthy gut lining of a human being, and then compare it to a photograph of a soil with plants sitting in it, with the roots of the plants in the soil and the plant above the ground, the picture is almost identical. The gut lining of a human being has finger-like protrusions, very long ones called villi, and every villus has hair-like protrusions called microvilli, and then every microvillus is covered by even more microscopic hairs called glycocalyx. And the whole thing, so they look like plants. They look like plants above the ground. And the whole thing is sitting in a dirty-looking brownish sticky substance, which looks like soil. And that is the biofilm that every microbe produces. So your gut lining is covered in soil. And it has these rich grasslands and forests growing on it, with all kinds of creatures living in there. And that's how it's supposed to be. Only then you'll be healthy and happy. But people, through taking glyphosate and buying their food in supermarkets and eating commodity crops, maintaining their addiction to commodity crops, they strip all those grasslands and forests in their gut and turn them into deserts.
Well, I want to make a connection here too, where it seems like the problem with agriculture, where we've formed these deserts, is growing plants the way we do. And then eating the plants is creating the gut disruption and the desert-like end stage in there as well.
This is one of the universal laws. This world has been created by a colossal intelligence. You can call it the grand creator, you can call it the big spirit, or you can call it God, whatever you want to call it. But this world has been created because of the intelligence that has been put into the whole thing. And the grand creator has laid certain rules and laws how the whole thing functions. And the whole world, the whole galaxies obey these rules, apart from a two-legged creature called man who doesn't even know about their existence. And one of these laws is, as without, so within. As up, so is down. So what we're doing outside our bodies with our arable industrial agriculture, we're repeating what's within us. The picture is exactly the same.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
The human body is a microbial community, and because food is the most powerful influence on any microbial community, then food becomes the most powerful medicine for the human body. And GAP's nutritional protocol is designed to bring